Welcome to Eventvods. This is the full VOD of today's NLC Winter 2025 matchup.
Absolutely do that. The Kalista ban against Maoki makes sense. The Draven ban against Hums makes sense. We've seen those guys pop off on those champions already. Draft's beginning. Let's see what comes out of it.
I agree with you about the individual strength on the lanes being the thing rather that might help Ruddy get on top of Venomcrest without too much of an effort. Just because, like, again, if you look at those nameplates, you can see how much individual experience there is behind each of them on Ruddy's side. I need to see, though, what's going to come out of the draft, because I really loved Venomcrest's previous draft, and I loved how Kiki was piloting that Ivern, so I'm definitely expecting a lot from Kiki and from their bot lane, because Maoki was also very interesting to watch there.
Now, we also have to take in consideration that Lolly probably needs to calm down on this one. It's not always about engaging, so maybe, I don't know. You can't define the game both ways. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Corki is removed, and somehow Skarner is allowed again for Jankos!
Papa Jankos on Skarner! What could possibly go wrong?
Why? Why are you even delaying? You know you want it. You know you want it.
Okay, well, look. The honest answer here is, if you are willing to give the Skarner up in order to bat the Aurora away in order to get Hums off those two champions that he's so very comfortable on in the Draven and the Corki, you need to have an answer. You need to be able to justify this. What do you have to make the Skarner's life difficult? The Kiki went on to the Ivern earlier today. It is a very weird jungle champion in general. There's nothing quite like it. Adding in the Varus, the Chains of Corruption, gives you a little bit more pick to go with it, but the response from Ruddy was rapid. You locked in the Rumble, you've locked in the Yone. Skarner presses R and holds 3 people in place for the double ult of the solo laners to land for free.
Are we picking more immobile champions into that? Because if that Syndra happens, I would love way much more, because we already have Varus, who is going to be very afraid for his life whenever his flash is not available to him, because the moment anybody in Ruddy's side presses their R button, everybody else can literally just follow up with the same gesture on their side, and that's going to be a very deadly combo in a fight.
You have the range, you have the sustain, you have everything that you need, but on the other side, it's just looking scary. And the thing is, they're not even delaying a second as soon as they're allowed to pick the champion. They know what they want. The game plan is there. Venomcrest is adapting. There's a difference. This is scary. Ezreal removed, so they're trying to pinch on the AD carry position, but Hums, we know he can play anything at all, so comfortable for now for Ruddy. What do you pinch coming in from Ruddy? Are you going for the supports? Are you go for the top laners? What's in the plan, Yamato?
I understand the thought process here from Venomcrest nonetheless. That's now 4 bans towards Hums, because he is the least experienced player at a pro level here, at least on the side of Ruddy Sack.
That's saying a lot.
And again, but then you look at the other side, and you've got some of the most experienced players in the world, right? We keep bringing it up because it's true. There's MSI champions on that team. That's nuts. That's always going to be a big hurdle to try and overcome, just purely in terms of that experience threshold. And it's not like these players are playing poorly either. But I understand the attack process there. I also want to note that while you've got a significantly dangerous combo from Ruddy Sack there, the lockdown into the big AoE ultimates from the solo laners, I think that theoretically the Ivern is more defenses than people think. Jace is up and available. You can go tank Jace here, and that's always been really, really potent right now. But I will say, to go back to it a little bit as we were chatting about it, the Ivern shields, the redemptions, the support items, the Daisy in front, might be more survivability than I think sometimes people give it credit for.
Ooh, we're going full
okay, the Wombo's there.
The combo.
Oh, another ult to punish the Rel Skarner combo. Okay. Lori.
No, he's joking.
It has to be Brom. Into me,
he's joking.
Come on.
But
if we just go to Alistair here, no, Alistair's bad. So like,
yeah,
the engaged support options are okay. Braum should be harder for Laurie to jump into Valhalla Leroy Jenkins style on. Laurie Jenkins.
Don't underestimate the man, okay?
True. But he saw the interview. Laurie was just teasing because I said, hey, maybe play Lulu and be more safe. And he was like, I have Lulu as a champion. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm not going to do it. So, okay, everything is on the board. We're looking at the second seed coming in from Group B. Quite important for both of them. Obviously, Ruddy, we're looking at first place. And in reality, yeah, it might be with that situation, yada, yada, I don't care. I want to look into the present and the future. The past is gone. So tell me, who's going to win this one?
Ruddy Sack's comp is significantly easier to execute. You have two very obvious engage buttons, and then everyone else presses R, and whoever is unfortunate enough to be caught within the Magnet Storm or the Impale dies a horrible death. They should win this. That said, I like the fact you've got good frontline and long range to try and keep away from that engage on the other side.
The thing is, there is a very big wombo combo on the side of the Ruddy, but at the same time, there are some really good tools to throw in against, that wombo combo, like the Brom Shield and like all the healing and shielding from the Ivern. But I gotta agree with Sam here. It's just so easy for Ruddy to just press buttons and sit back and watch everybody else die.
It's time to do it. Well, Venomcrest might pull another whoopsie against Ruddy and take that from them the second seeds. But you have to look into Ruddy and understand that their laning phase is probably one of the scariest things we've ever seen in League of Legends. So without further ado, hey, Duckling Jamat is going to take this one. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Ashram, and welcome over here to the caster desk. As you can see, by the lack of fans in the background, Jamat and I are in the empty head here today to bring you one of UK's most legendary rivalries. Forget all about your North London derbies, your Merseyside derbies, your M69 derbies, or whatever derby your local team plays in. This is when push comes to shove. These two teams going head-to-head last year created what the Ruddy Sack themselves describe as the ultimate grudge match. This is a serious game. Both of these teams played in the last NLC final, a 3-2 victory for Venomcrest. A repeat and a chance for revenge slipped through Ruddy Sack's fingers in the Aurora Cup as they yet again lost it out in a thrilling 5-game series, 3-2 to Venomcrest. Will they get their revenge here today? Well, they are certainly favorites as the Ruddy Sack want to get revenge and want to lock that second seed in Group B.
Very ideal to get that one going. Of course, Group A not fully decided, right? So with the tiebreakers still in the offing, this matchup could mean a lot in terms of the seeding, but I'm sure it means a lot, especially to the organizations as a whole. Two different iterations, of course, from 2024. Very drastic iterations from 2024.
One thing, though,
select
does remain right, Yamada. I think Ruddy Sack favorites as well in the NLC finals, favorites as well in the Aurora Cup semi-final where these two teams met. The nameplates might be different, but the role of favorite stays all the same. Yet somehow, the result always seems to go Venomcrest's way.
See if fortune can favor the side of Ruddy today. Like you mentioned, it always seems to go Venomcrest's way whenever these two teams meet. I mean, I think they've gotten off to a okay start picking up the Scanner. I think a lot of people, and the discussion on the desk, very centered around that champion. As far as I know, not sure it's even still gone through yet in the LPL. It has just had a 100% ban presence.
I mean, it is crazy broken, and Yanko's probably one of the best junglers in the league, if not the best jungler in the league. I think, though, the clear strategy for Venomcrest, right, is to unsettle Hums and try and play through the rookie, snowball a lead from there, and let's see what happens then, right? I can see their idea, but leaving open Skarner, it's a hard argument to come out on the winning end of.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they've gone for the Ivern, right, in response. And Ivern has been, you know, I suppose to some been seen as maybe the only jungler that can really answer him. Most of it just comes from, you know, shielding, redemption, the general scaling of Ivern, and kind of the play pattern of Skarner coming through the wall. It makes you a very easy target for the root caller CC. There are plenty of things that Ivern does really well that can definitely hamper the play pattern of Skarner. We'll see how the matchup 1-to-1 transpires as Laurie's looking for an early roam over to the mid lane, and it might actually be completely unknown to Ruddy Sack.
Yeah, I mean, Lofty does kind of mess up a bit with the Q, getting a minion instead of getting more poke on Leader, but this is still a, you know, fine little trade he's getting himself into here, unless Leader responds back well. Good damage, actually, from the Ruddy Sack mid laner as they're, you know, brawling it out already in the mid lane. Again, what does the second seed really mean, Jamada? Well, the answer is quite clear. You avoid Nord. The loser of this game will play Nord in the first match of the playoffs, while the second seed, we don't know who they'll play yet. It depends on the tiebreakers that will be played tomorrow, but you avoid both Nord and Los Ratones. Los Ratones will play against DMG, but you avoid Nord, and that is still a hugely important heading into playoffs.
Does feel like a relatively big gap between the top two teams in Group A, Bulldog, Nightside, and Verdant.
Yeah, good little trade there from Leader yet again. Really pressuring out Lofty, who is struggling a bit in this matchup so far. Both low on HP and mana. But Ice on bot lane has... I mean, the cleanse has been forced out from Hums. That's a small little cooldown to play around, but unable to force the flash as Laurie, rather, did use his own to try and get something from it.
Yeah, I was doing an iron because I thought that maybe Jankos had a dive option here on the top side towards Elijah, but just going to take the reset, get his tier, get a longsword, TP back to base, to lane rather, allow himself to be a victim, and Jankos doesn't waste too much time at all, goes straight back down to the bottom side for the rotations. So, quite an early game so far. Nothing big blown as of yet. I think goes about as you'd probably want if you're Venomcrest, to be honest, in these opening jungle clears. Again, when you've got something like Hui, you've got Braum, you've got Ivern, obviously, as well. So much utility. The more stable an early game you have, certainly the better. But again, just thinking about the amount of wombo combo on offer for Ruddy Sack, it just takes one team fight. And all of these carries here, immobile. Very, very immobile. And if too many get caught in, you know, a Rel Gravity Well, or something like the Skarner roll actually finds multiple people at the same time, teamfight just immediately blows up in your face, and there's no real answer to have if carries are caught in the crossfire. So Venomcrest positioning has to be key, flashes have to be respected, and more importantly, I think they've just got to keep their distance, right? Between Hui and between Varus, who's got the Comet, which indicates to us that between that and the tier pickup early on, he's going to be going the poke variation. Has to just keep his distance. He has to make sure that he's giving over his life too
a bit too far
easily.
forward here. Doesn't have the flash, remember, after the trade early on the bot lane. Hums, though, no cleanse. So if the CC comes through, it could be the first, but forced to flash out. And times it nicely to get out to safety, as, you know, instead Mauki turns his attention on towards hustling and gets a decent trade in, but no first blood yet to be traded. And the desk discussed the difference in laning skill, and just look at the goal lead that has already built up simply by CSing better on the side here of Ruddy Sack.
Yeah, maybe run around 100 gold ahead. Perks.
Oh, Elijah looking for the solo kill on Perks, and he will find it for first blood. The rookie of the split stepping up when it matters most, as Jankos will trade it back. I mean, will he give the kill over to Perks? No, Jankos will claim it in the end. Did get damage down on the W, but still feats of strength and a Drake on top of it. Venomcrest happy with that.
Honestly, man, just well played to Perks. You know, I feel like he's come into the league and he just wanted to allow these, you know, these Aero players to get it on their CV. I solo kill Perks. You know, that's how it's going down right now. Just maybe overestimating / underestimating his own damage. Perks didn't quite get, I feel like, as many overheat autos, if we're talking micro, as he potentially could have once he hit that overheat. So Elijah and himself a solo kill. Blank period. Feels good for him. Kill does go back over to Perks though, so everything's still kind of equalized out as once the gold kind of the gold dust, I suppose, settles. We're still almost at a 1,000 gold lead already, just purely through laning.
They know they're right next to each other. In the end, though, they are now aware. Lofty is in a whole heap of trouble. I did not expect that much damage. Not able to walk out of it as Leader claims the kill. Great coordination there, as Hums, though, will be the sacrificial lamb. He stepped too far forward and will also be punished for his sins. This derby certainly delivering blow for blow.
Yeah, delivering blow for blow. I like that. Kill for kill is being traded here across the map, but again, I still kind of point to the top of the screen. Gold lead has still edged out towards Ruddy Sack. It's not the end all be all at the end of the day. Gold isn't everything when it's at these kind of incremental numbers for the time being. Of course, objectives were traded evenly earlier. 6 grubs, or rather 3 grubs, for that Hex Tech Dragon. And we've seen the power of grubs tonight already.
Yeah.
Right? Showed off mostly by Rich Gang. I mean, in fairness, actually, Ruddy earlier on tonight in the third game of the night, just being able to win a fight and then pushing a tower of 6 grubs with multiple people, the difference in damage is very, very night and day.
I think that's a very good point, and it's certainly something we will be keeping our eyes on. I feel like, especially around, the 12 to 20 minute mark games are often decided because whoever gets that slight lead on if it's either the grubs or whatever it might be, will be enough to snowball into Atacana. When that first comes through, there's not much really to do for your opponents, as I don't know about you, Yamada, but my quality...
No, don't worry about it. No, it's yeah, same,
I mean, I can
here.
still
Online
see the
broadcasting,
action, right?
it's fine. Yeah, you can still see the action.
We are here for the love of the game, right? I mean, that's like being put up, right at the top end of Anfield, and you can barely see anything. That's exactly what we are sitting at right now. But the action will unfold regardless, and we'll do our best to describe what's happening as someone's being caught here. I think Kiki's too far forward as forced to fetch away Daisy. Playing a bit of bodyguard there, keeping his owner safe as leader. Takes a bit of damage in return, but is able to get out to safety. And now Mauki looking to poke a bit and will just take a bit more of leader's HP back.
The worst thing in the world, they're able to escape everyone involved. Actually, we need to look at the top side, because Perks just used his ult, and he's chunked out Elijah, but...
Yeah, but I saw
maybe we can't.
Mauki, how did he find leader? He sniped him out of nowhere, but Jankos snipes them right back in the fight. Really exploding now. Will the shields here be enough as Mauki desperately trying to kite back, but the CC is massive. Still, though, alive as Jankos forced to flash to close the gap, and now
it's got
a bit of a wet noodle fight, but this Skarner deals so much damage. He's broken as Jankos picks up the double kill.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see why Skarner is very frequently banned on this patch at the moment. 301. Jankos has been in very favorable positions, of course, but he's going to be able to pick up his heart steal pretty promptly as he's making his way to the top side now. He is being matched again by Kiki.
Yeah.
Perks.
Elijah.
Perks.
The shot blast goes wide, and the solo kill won't be found. Instead, it's a delivery into the already incredibly fed Jankos. I mean, he's taking it into his own hands to carry Ruddy, right?
I mean, look, I've worked with Perks before on the LEC broadcast. Lovely, lovely fella. Now I'm starting to see just why. So much generosity on the Rift. Couldn't quite hand it over this time.
That's crazy.
As it was a really nice snipe from Mauki to secure leader there, but then the rundown from Jankos a little bit too much, and Skarner's ramping damage with the passive and all the rest of it. Percent HP, CC. Can't be saved. Support of Venomcrest. Kiki finds that shield.
The game certainly delivering, right? These two organizations having gone head-to-head multiple times last year. Very different strategies each in terms of how they build their rosters and the names they have on it, but Venomcrest have found their success in the NLC with going with these rookie lineups. Kiki plucked out of the French scene. Mauki, Lori, essentially the same, right? Having played on a team together down in some local French tournament. Last time they did that, I mean, they got some names who have now won the NLC in Lenny and Theokak. So Venomcrest continuing to stick with that strategy, and so far, I mean, it's paying off, right? They are playing up against these world-class players on Ruddy's side, but still, Perks with this, or not Perks, rather, Jankos with his big lead, now looking for 6 grubs. That would be very deciding in this game, it feels, or at the very least telling about who's in the driver's seat.
Will be indeed. If Ruddy can pick up all 3 of these grubs here, it'd feel really good. You get yourself the second defeat of strength. They gave up the first blood earlier on. Like, you call out Skarner a little bit too strong, positioning too good for this Ruddy sack lineup, and Venomcrest are gonna just yield. I'm gonna move over to the Dragon, so it looks like they'll at the very least cross map. Lofty's getting a bit of free time down here, so things are definitely swinging like a pendulum for the time. He's trying to come up here to maybe cover an entrance for Elijah, but he might just die.
He's caught out, and he's certainly going to go down. You have to feel, unless his dancing shoes are on, is it gonna be enough? Oh, the equalizer ticking, and that will barely get it over the line. They had to invest heavily, but they did find the kill in the end.
They just wanted him dead, man. three ultimates.
The definition of it's onside. It's onside. As soon as they saw him, everything in the kitchen sink to get that kill.
I wonder, because Lori obviously had a very death-heavy game. Number 1 for himself earlier tonight. Wonder if the comms are like, yo, he's inning again, Get him, and of course, as things fly wide, more things have to be committed, more ultimates, of course, to secure that one. But they get that tower up in the top side, first tower secured, and again, power of 6 grubs. being demonstrated for us, and they're going to be able to make it down to the bottom side, cover that tower as well. Now it just makes you wonder, they're going to have a window to kind of do the same thing again. Plates will probably fall by the time they look to, as they drop off in 40 seconds time, but still an excellent usage of grubs and an excellent way to just accelerate the game. They know they're going to uptrade far more gold than Venomcrest are going to be able to get in return.
So, the game is not over yet. There are more neutral objectives to be spawning in few minutes time, so we can see who will get those feats of strength, as the first turret did go in favor of Ruddy, as we saw before. But I mean, just look at the gold difference in the jungle. Jankos is genuinely at this point probably another carry, and we'll see if that's how this fight plays out, as well as Hustlin seems to be the first target. Good amount of damage on him. He could still re-engage. Obviously, support will gladly give his life for a good fight, but instead happy just to re-engage and get out somewhat unscathed.
Warrior is playing on the edge. Like you say though, chunk out onto Hustlin means he's going to have to make a reset. There's no objective to fight over. Teams just scuffling over vision around the side of the map. This is where the two I beg your pardon, tier 1s are up for Ruddy to take. Again, just more vision being denied here from Venomcrest, so it's actually a pretty big strip of darkness down here for Ruddy. They're not really willing to push forward for the time being, though Hamza was definitely, Jankos rather, was looking for Lofty, spotted out by that blue one.
I like Lofty utilizing the vision well there to stay safe. There's still been a bit of danger underneath this turret. Kiki has rotated him to just hover around and make sure his mid laner is safe. I think if he overextends here, Leader and the rest of the team might think there is an opportunity. Recalls coming through. One of them completed. Hustlin has come back to base as well, but Venomcrest don't make a play yet on towards Leader, who would be hard to catch as well. Fate, Shield, and Flash can certainly create some distance in a short amount of time.
Ever the slippery champion. Yone, one of the major complaints about his design as a whole.
For sure.
Is how hard he can be to lock down. And of course, Leader, we saw earlier the proficiency he has. As actually his ult was used. Just off screen as we panned away. It did blow Lofty's flash, so apologies for missing that one, but must have happened on a very quick snap. As Ruddy now just looking for more invades. Small incremental leads that they can try and secure for themselves. They'll look to secure. Push the lead further and further ahead as they're up 4K gold, basically. Just shy. And again, just using Hamza as this mid lane wave control. Misfortune on that on first spike, especially very, very, very irritating and difficult to shove off of a wave.
Yeah.
As the Varus, even as the Fallacy, you kind of just have to sit back and let him clear it.
Yeah, you can poke him out. I mean, he's just gonna heal it all back up.
He's gonna heal it all back, right? So.
And this Herald,
now on the Herald.
Decides the feats of strength. Kiki is there, so could get in and then use the smite. Might be a 50-50 about who gets those upgraded boots. It's definitely in Jankos' favor, you could say, but Kiki could get in. TP now being activated as well. A far feels to be on the cards, but as the feats of strength gets secured, Leader seems to be caught out. Lori instead, however, takes a whole heap of damage. Hustlin finds a brilliant engage as the bullet time comes through, but doesn't take down anyone. Now the re-engage coming through. Perks forced to flash. The snipe comes through from Lofty, and the shutdown gets secured. Venomcrest, the rookies, not done quite yet. Jankos locked up as well, but he'll steal Maoki away and try to turn the fight around one more time. And the captain, the leader, does just that.
Hamza
finds a return kit as Hums desperately tries to find more. He's unable to do so, but in the end, what I think is a 2-for-2 comes out.
Comes out in the end. Herald secured by Ruddy. What an almost to be engaged from Hustlin. Just wasn't enough follow-up. Venomcrest do enough to make the turn happen. Let's get a look at it, because Herald takes a little while to go down. Venomcrest, you can see they're just in the area, but you need to keep your eyes on Hustlin, and then crucially, you need to keep your eyes on the Hui once he shows up, because those are the two big difference makers of this fight. Herald secured, right? Eye is faced towards Ruddy. Hustlin sees his angle after the equalizer goes down. Once Lori is dead, they know there's no big peel in the way, but then the rest of the team are just a bit too far forward, or too far away rather, from Venomcrest to make ooze on that Hustlin engage. And that turnaround damage from the Hui was huge. Everyone clumped up inside of the ultimate. And very good, well-timed ultimate here from Jankos. Impale onto the ADC of Venomcrest, and for a second you think Hamza with this AoE slow from the Skarner could maybe open up, but can't quite go far enough as Leader sidesteps that QW, and now we're back out onto the map for another objective. The first 2 dragons were secured by Venomcrest, so this could be Soul Point picked up. It's only Cloud Soul, but I mean, movement speed in a game like this, trying to kite away from so many ultimates could be pivotal.
He's able to dash out to safety for now. You get nervous. This guy definitely can get caught out. That's for sure. Leader takes a bit of damage, and speaking of being caught out, Laurie will be targeted down here, but able to escape, jump out to safety, stand behind me, able to create the distance needed. It is Soul Point for Venomcrest in terms of tools. Many flashes were burned last fight, but Jankos looking for the flank here. Hums as well. Both sums available. That could be key. There's a few engages. Has the flashes as well to look for those opportunities, but instead, Venomcrest eyes shift towards the mid lane as the equalizer will come through simply just to clear the wave, and what will end up likely being a free Drake here just for Ruddy. Jankos gets out over the wall as well, and they get out. Get the Drake. That's daylight robbery.
True heist. Not much else to add, really. And
they get the turret as well, I mean.
And they get the turret. It's the crucial thing, really, to kind of say in response is Venomcrest don't even find a cross map anywhere. You know, there's not even really a positive to say about that. It's just taken away by Ruddy. Good job by them all around. And as I feel like for the time being, there's not really much else to talk about. I kind of want to talk about Elijah's item build here, because we've seen a lot of tank Jace across the world. And at the very least, when I've witnessed it played so far, I was going to say in the West, but it's only really been the LEC, of course, and major regions. Still got another couple of days for LTA North and South, respectively, to kick off. We've been seeing a lot more, instead of that full tank Jace, right, we've actually started to see an evolution of Bruiser Jace, where you get the Shojin, and that kind of works as your, your pseudo damage item, Maoki.
Jankos now coming from the flank as well. This could be bad for Venomcrest as they've caught out the carries and they will punish them. Hamza unloading the bullet time and Maoki's dead. Laurie's next up on the menu.
Hold on.
Taken down, but the lofty damage is absolutely unbelievable. He finds one in return, and somehow that fight ends up going okay for Venomcrest, but Ruddy clearly the winners in that one.
Okay, there's something emerging here despite the gold discrepancy. And that's that Ruddy if they're worth their salt, they need to swap their priorities over to making sure that they find Lofty in those combos, because you're seeing, right, the death ball composition that is Ruddy wants to, pile in, get on top of as many carries with their ultimates and AoE abilities as possible. If Lofty isn't in the middle of that, look at the return damage available, right? That was just E, ult, and I mean, it wasn't even the claw E, mind you. It was just the, the rumble floor and the ultimate. That didn't even get to proc fully because he died, right? He died early, so it exploded. That's scary. That's something that Ruddy have to keep their eyes on, because that can certainly turn what could be, a 3 kills to maybe 1 death exchange to straight up a 3 for 3, right? So Lofty has to be involved in that mixer if Ruddy want to have more successsul fights.
Yeah. Lofty and his mages has been very good so far. There was a lot of excitement about him as he got his chance in the NLC, having won the Swedish League just last split. I asked around some Swedish colleagues of ours who cast that scene, and what I was told was that he was absolutely top tier for the league. He was, destroying everyone, by far the best mid laner. He was one to look out for and really be excited for, and I think the games today, right? Remember his Seraph game earlier, absolutely flawless, and so far on this way, showing his value yet again. Another Venomcrest rookie seeming ready to jump into the spotlight and really take off.
Doing his bit to fight for this second seed here. Still 4,000 gold down, but as we were just highlighting, possibilities for team fights to go awry for Ruddy are high. Target selection has to be on point.
Agreed.
Pinpoint. They have to find Lofty.
And again, I go on, Shimano.
I was gonna say finding Kiki, finding Maoki isn't gonna be enough. It genuinely has to be 3 or more.
Yeah.
One of them has to be Lofty.
Eyes on him as the fights will be playing out later on in the game, as with now more neutral objectives out on the field. Laurie almost caught out again, able to jump to safety, as he is still caught out, it seems, and I am pretty sure he will be going down here. There is no way out as Perks claims to kill TP, and that's Lofty, who's all of a sudden in no man's land, forced to flash away early on. Good return damage. And without the ultimate, he absolutely explodes Hustlin into a million little pieces. But with leader pushing in the mid lane, it's certainly a win for Ruddy in the grand scheme of things.
Yes, still a bit of a win here, especially if he's able to get this tower and then ult out maybe. No, Q3, doesn't even need it. Won't get the tower though. As the Atacon is still being taken down, and the rest of the posturing from Ruddy is just to kind of feign that they're even on it. I think they will now get a little bit of a look with the Daisy, and they'll just peel away. That it's not worth the flip for the time being. As leader continues to pressure that tier 2.
Does get it.
And he does get it. That was Yankos, very cheeky.
Yeah.
He missed it on the side of the screen. Tried to get that impale over the wall, but didn't quite find it.
Yeah, I mean, trying to pull out the rainbow flick, right? Showing off that the old man still got it. He's certainly shown that this split. There is no doubt about that. He's been very good on this Ruddy roster, who have looked, phenomenal as well outside of the game, while they had to play with a substitute. And Yamato Cannon came in instead. Laurie caught out again, you have to think, as this time, yet again, able to jump out. Leader looking for something. But doesn't quite find it initially. Maybe, though, Elijah could be, interested in taking the fight here instead. Decides to run out. Lofty not in the area. No flash on him. That's a big cooldown to keep your eyes on, as Hustlin wants this fight and forces the flash out of Maoki initially. Good trade damage back on the Ruddy support as leader. He finds 2, but he's the one who goes down instead. Elijah simply too tanky, yes. I mean, this was a fight that Ruddy chose, but they're the ones who loses it.
Yeah, I'm just not super sold on this engage here. Laurie, that's the shielding of Kiki in his pocket. But now Lofty's here, and they're still at a 4v5 disadvantage, Ruddy. So Venomcrest can definitely look to step forward a little bit, though they're lacking some ultimates. They have Lofties.
Yeah, Elijah's TPing in, and look at the damage from Lofty. Yankos, I kind of want to say the carry is solo and should be taken down. The fail, flash, and a massive shutdown on towards Elijah. But the key prize, though, is that soul point here for Venomcrest. They'll claim it without any contest from Ruddy Yes, Venomcrest, 4k down, continue to find fights.
Yeah, bit of a misstep there from Ruddy. I mean, they're just not really willing to give over soul point, right? You can see in the posturing. Hustlin's solo level, right? His death timer is going to be very short, but again, just too far forward. Too far forward too soon. And crucially, the play before that as well, I'm unsure if we'll end up getting a replay, but the fact that Hustling uses his flash on that play and it's not for Lofty, I think is a big error. I think it's a big error for the game state. And how things could transpire now that the Baron is on the map. And we kind of return to pseudo wave clear on the side and lane assignments for the next couple of minutes as teams try to figure out when and where they can actually look at windows to try and start this Baron or that.
And the tension is rising. This grudge match is certainly delivering. More at stake than simply just that second place. Summer Finals, NLC 2024. Venomcrest versus Ruddy. Venomcrest, the heavy underdog, won 3-2 in a grueling best of 5. Aurora Cup, NLC 2024, semi-final. Venomcrest versus Ruddy. Game 5, Venomcrest, the underdogs. And they end up winning. Yet again, though, they find themselves in such a familiar position against a familiar foe. This time, though, with much bigger names. And while the goal lead is in Ruddy Sack's favor, this game is far from over. Jankus might have been caught out too far forward here yet again. Baron is up, Arakan is up. If he goes down here, it could be disaster. Laurie, though, able to flash out of the re-engage, you can kind of call it, from Jankus, as he was looking to drag someone back into his team with him. Only found Laurie, and they didn't have the damage to take him down.
Ron very tanky and, of course, has Ivor in his back pocket. Maybe this is the solution, right? Take him off an engage champ. Take Laurie, or put Laurie onto a champion that, I forget the exact numbers of Rom Shield and exactly how much damage it reduces in that direction. It's 50%, as I just click and look in the in-game for the level it's at right now. So between that and Ivern shields, Laurie can be safe. He can actually not die with these phase checks. That's what Venomcrest have figured out the secret source is. Given Laurie definitely having a bit of a rough day, as I poke fun, but
yeah,
it's still going to be a very important part of how Venomcrest end up potentially winning some skirmishes or team fights as this game goes further and further in, just by being a body right in front of some of these abilities. Try and prevent his carries from dropping.
Yeah, he's certainly a team player, there is no doubt about it. A bit like Healy saying, doesn't fear his death toll going up or his KDA looking bad. If he does it for the good of his team, you can obviously say sometimes maybe he's a bit too overeager to put his body on the line, but as a support. I'll never complain about someone willing to take a bullet for me, and Laurie will definitely do that for his team if it means just saving one of his teammates.
Absolutely, he will. Showing that now, because Ruddy definitely want to start this Atacon up, and they will. And the positioning from Venomcrest is all going to come from this bottom side of the river,
dropping.
so
I mean,
it's dropping low.
There is no 3-item spike on Lofty. He has
gone,
the
I
2
think.
meters in large rod. And I think, yeah, I should say, it's gone. Kiki can't get in the pit. And now the withdrawals are available as well. This could be a huge fight for Ruddy as Kiki is the first target. He should go down with the soul unbound, and so he does. Lofty next on the menu as the equalizer is ticking through the last slither of HP on him. He's caught out,
no.
and as he misses pretty much everything, he's set to go down as well. Baron on the cards now for Ruddy, and that is a monumental fight in this dojo.
Yep, no one drops on the side of Ruddy. Not even a withdraw. And that's Kiki and Lofty there, the 2 critical components of Venomcrest, and the Baron is now going to be started up.
There is decent poke on this Venomcrest lineup, but I don't think they can get anything. Have to maybe retreat to their bases, try and get a few turrets here, get something on the map, but the problem is for the next 2.5 minutes, you'll be under an incredible amount of pressure from this Ruddy lineup. Desperate to get that second seed, desperate for revenge, as his organization have so often fell short. But he went to the games against Venomcrest. So much on the line here as that fight feels like he could decide the tides of this game.
Absolutely, it can. Atacon taken very quickly, and look at Leader, how quickly he goes towards Kiki, knows that if he can kill the shield giver, then the rest of the team is going to be significantly squishy up. Switches targets over to Lofty, but doesn't quite have enough time in the tank to lock him fully down. Equalizer a little bit short on damage, and I'm actually surprised the ultimate hit. It also looked like the ult from Lofty missed too, but does connect as, here you go,
Venomcrest.
Yankos hustling, looking for plays.
Yeah, can't afford to be caught out here, right? We'll keep our eyes on the target, but Yankos knows exactly who to target there. Massive pick. 44 seconds without the shield. 3-item spike now from Lofty, but he's not level 16 yet. Baron up, withdrawal up. This is a Ruddy lineup ready to go for the win here. You have to feel just 30 minutes in. They got the one fight in their favor, and they will be clinical once they have that lead. Oh, what can Venomcrest do? The rookies. Backs against the wall, will have to find something, but the withdrawals, still so much time on them. I mean, what can they really do? Lofty's called out, and he's taken down. Leader still alive, not even withdrawn quite yet. Maoki doesn't have the damage. Elijah doesn't have the damage. The Nexus target turrets are in their sight as the withdrawals now coming through. The cooldown on them might run out in a few seconds, and maybe it's something Venomcrest can play around. But look at that engage from Hosnin. Maoki, Laurie down, and blink and you'll miss it. Ruddy get that revenge, get the second seed, and they will show up here in day number 2. What a brilliant performance here today as they win the grudge match and they get that revenge.
Curse officially broken by Ruddy. And I mean, like you allude to, it's been a very big grudge match for the last 12 months, almost more, and it comes down to leading 2 world champion, or well, you know, MSI if you want to call it.